My name is Mark Hobart, and I am a catastrophist. Together with my colleague Cola here, we will present PSA number 3, Public Service Announcement number 3, another approaching catastrophe, water woes, and it will be done in two parts. The first part is freshwater, the second part will be salt water. Presented on Caveat Mind channel. Here's a summary and the references, some of which are displayed here, and some of which are not. For example, 7 Types of Freeloaders is an article you can get on the powermovers.com. And then there's Jared Diamond's classic Collapse, How Societies Choose to Fail or Succeed. The economics of water catastrophes, for example. The essential concepts that we will illustrate in this video is identify strategic assets, identify systemic vulnerabilities, think back for natural history, think of the worst case scenario, develop policies with built-in resilience and sustainability. And part 1 will be identify a strategic asset, water, also known as liquid life. When the well's dry, we know the worth of water. Benjamin Franklin. We are made of water, about 60%. We can survive 7 days without water, but we should have a ration of about 1 gallon or 128 ounces per day. More precisely, drink daily, half of your body weight in ounces. Yes, water is a strategic asset, especially fresh water. And we have a potential catastrophe here, and that is aquifer depletion. Without easy access to fresh water, urban areas could not survive. The United States draws 37% of the water it consumes from the ground, from aquifers. You decide. Strategic asset? I think so. California agriculture uses irrigation. They report 4 times more water than urban areas. 15% of farms use irrigation systems nationwide. 58 million acres out of 396 million are dependent on aquifer irrigation. 40% of California's water usage comes from aquifers, and California reports it uses 138 gallons per household per day. You think about it. Dishwashers, toilets, laundry, baths, showers, lawn care. The Central Valley, especially between Interstate 5, north of Fresno and south of Tulare, has dropped substantially in elevation. That is, it is closer to sea level. It's dropped 28 feet between 1926 to 1970 and 1 foot per year in some parts. Water levels have dropped 30 meters, 66 feet. 4,000 wells have already dried up. California references are listed here. We have the same problem in the Midwest and the West, called the Ogallala Aquifer, stretches from South Dakota and Wyoming to Texas and New Mexico. It supports Western agriculture's irrigation, which is extensive out there. Remember, we had the Dust Bowl, 12 inches of rain on average through that area. The water wells began in the 1960s, and now it's declined up to 150 feet in some areas, 12 feet in Kansas. The real problem is that it replenishes from rainfall at the rate of 0.24 inches per year. And it will be 70% gone in less than 70 years. And then all that agricultural land will be lost again. Iowa even has the problem. We average 33 inches of rain a year, don't have irrigation, but industrial and residential demands alone have dropped the Jordan Aquifer, which covers most of the state of Iowa. New Des Moines Register, November 16, 2014, too thirsty. Catastrophic thinking on water policies. It must be renewable, sustainable, resilient. Strategic assets must be regulated and access limited and rationed. Rivers, aquifers, even oceans are strategic assets, not free public goods. There are hidden costs of pumping water from near our coastlines. Another emerging threat is that land is subsiding. It's a worldwide problem. 10 sinking cities in the world, John Englander. 12 rapidly sinking cities. You can search those. Coastal cities in parts of Asia are sinking the fastest. New Orleans, Miami Beach, Houston, Texas, New York are racing towards the sea level. Washington, D.C., think tidal basin. And I have some articles there about Washington, D.C. is sinking, and they're pumping too much water out of the ground. They've made some responses to try to save the National Mall's tidal basin. Cities are trying to stop their land from sinking, indeed pumping water into the ground to hold up their aquifers. National Geographic has an article, The Dual Crisis Facing Coastal Communities, March 8th, 2021. There's a clear recognition among policymakers that freshwater needs are not the whole problem. To form public policies, we must consider all aspects of the problem, look at it from all perspectives. We cannot solve only half the problem, which is aquifer regulation. We have to think about the rest of the world's water woes, salt water. And we're up to part 2. And I will end every video the same way with a prayer for peace. Thank you.